Part 72. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 711. Everyone's eyes can't help but become envious. How could this young man, He Nang, be given such preferential treatment? There is still some uneasiness in my heart. However, after seeing the corpse of the 9-star King level Dragon Valley Deputy Valley Master on the ground, everyone instantly understood. With the cultivation of the 6-star King realm, beheading the 9-star King realm opponent is a kind of capital in itself. At this moment, even Gong Sun Cheng couldn't help showing a look of surprise. You must know that Lord Qin Hai has not accepted an apprentice for a long time since he became the Jinzuo Inspector of the Holy Heaven Alliance. Not to mention, with the additional condition of recommending the Holy Son of the Holy Heaven Alliance. What does it mean? Could it be that the Jinzuo Inspector was afraid that Fang Fan would not agree? Specially increased conditions. Gong Sun Cheng opened his mouth, and a look of envy appeared in his eyes. Then he frantically winked at Fang Fan, implying that he agrees quickly. Lord Qin Hai is not only the Jinzuo Inspector of the Holy Heaven Alliance, but also belongs to the strongest group among the Jinzuo Inspectors. Even, the General Jinzuo Inspector will bow his head in front of him and obey orders. This is the absolute powerhouse of the Holy Heaven Alliance. The powerhouse of the real King realm. A powerhouse of this level, let alone a 6-star King realm, even a 10-star weak real King, would rush to it. You must know that there are too many differences between the real King realms. The 10-star absolute real King, there are 10-star strong real Kings and 10-star weak real Kings in the middle, and then down, it is the 9-star quasi-real King realm. In Gong Sun Cheng's eyes, Qin Hai's gold medal supervisor is the existence he must look up to. Palace Master Fang Fan, Lord Qin Hai is a rare powerhouse in our Holy Heaven Alliance. If you can worship him and become the Holy Son of the Holy Heaven Alliance, it will be of great help to your future. Seeing Fang Fan's delay in speaking, Gong Sun Cheng became anxious and quickly explained. He was really afraid of Fang Fan's rejection. No one else can do this kind of thing, but when it comes to Fang Fan, it can only be said that everything is possible. Gong Sun Cheng really didn't want such a good opportunity to be wasted like this. That's too frustrating. Fang Fan. This is your great opportunity. Even Yun Yun, who was standing by the side, couldn't help poking Fang Fan, her face full of excitement. Ha ha. Fang Fan first smiled slightly, then shook his head indifferently. Sorry, I don't have this idea yet. Thank you for your kindness. Fang Fan pouted to himself, I take you as a Taoist friend. Do you still want to be my master? Isn't this outdated? Besides, a supreme real king, to be honest, Fang Fan really didn't take it to heart. Because after a few levels, the 5 heroes under his command will only become stronger. If you really want to count it like this, what does it count? Rejected. The boy refused. Hey, is he stupid? What a chance to hug your thighs. My God, this young man will definitely regret it in the future. Maid, how come I don't have such good luck? Grass, a waste of opportunity. Isn't this young man pretending to be coercive? In fact, I have long wanted to agree in my heart, but I just want to be reserved. Pretend. I don't look like it? Tisk, I think this young man just didn't like the Golden Throne Inspector of the Holy Heaven Alliance, and didn't like the position of the Holy Son. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 712. Sure enough, it's still a teenager. You'll know you'll regret it later. It's not an exaggeration to pretend now. Hey, it's totally normal, isn't it? One word after another. Some expressed regret, and some expressed criticism of Fang Fan. All in all, everything is said. Of course, Fang Fan didn't pay much attention to it from beginning to end. Qin Hai was silent for a moment, then laughed heartily. Yes, if you can really kill the 9-star king realm with your current realm, then your future will be limitless, and I really can't be your master. Just now, I was too big. Qin Hai shrugged, his face relaxed. I have to say, this Holy Heavenly Alliance Golden Throne Inspector's self-cultivation is indeed very good. Fang Fan nodded secretly, expressing his appreciation. Okay, if you, have any other ideas in the future, you can come to me. You don't like the position of my direct disciple, but the position of the Holy Son of the Holy Heaven Alliance should still be very valuable. This door is always open for you. As the inspector of the Golden Throne, I can recommend a Holy Son in my life. I don't want to waste this rare opportunity. Qin Hai spoke in a humorous way, which made people listen without the slightest disgust, and even, felt quite gratified. Okay, you should be here to exchange contribution points, right? Just in time, you are also in line, come in with me. Qin Hai led the way, and naturally no one dared to stop him. Are you disciples of Kinmei sect? Qin Hai's eyes suddenly turned to the scantily clad women standing beside him. At this moment, there was no good expression on his face. These charming women were able to talk at first, but in front of the inspector of the Golden Throne of the Holy Heaven Alliance, they didn't dare to make a sound, and their eyes were full of fear. Yes, yes, Your Excellency the Inspector. This matter has nothing to do with us, it has nothing to do with us, we didn't hurt anyone. After a long time, a woman in a red dress with a tube top stood up, and while talking, she threw a wink at Qin Hai. Of course, this wink looks a little embarrassing. Boom. Brains burst, blood flows. The eyes of everyone froze suddenly, and their eyes were full of horror. Humph. It's beyond your own power to actually use seductive techniques on this seed. Although you didn't do it directly, if it wasn't for you to make troubles, why would you make trouble to such an extent? Pull it down and send it back directly to the Kinmei sect, and let the sect master of the Kinmei sect take care of it. Qin Hai made a dignified voice, and several charming and affectionate female disciples of Kinmei Zong suddenly lost their blood. This punishment is a fatal blow to them. They were reprimanded by the Jinzuo inspector of the Holy Heavenly Alliance, and they were dead when they returned. These women's sinister gazes all focused on Fang Fan, and they felt that Fang Fan caused all this. Otherwise, why would they be here? Shameless. Despicable. Son of a bitch. Fang Fan shrugged, never intimidated by these vicious eyes. These women can only be said to be self-inflicted. They deliberately teased the Deputy Valley owner of Longigu, and wanted to cut the queue badly, which led to a series of subsequent events. There is nothing to sympathize with. A pair of wreckage of a 10-star weak and true king of the Dark Camp. 9-star king level quasi-true king powerhouse heads. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 713. Fang Fan silently took out all the battle gains this time in his storage ring. According to Yun Yun's reminder before, the contribution points can only be redeemed by beheading the demons of the Dark Camp when the Holy Heaven Alliance issues the Holy Heaven Order, and there is no such opportunity in normal times. If you don't exchange them all this time, they may not accept the account next time. So much. You killed them all. You can still kill the 10-star weak true king. The corners of Qin Hai's mouth trembled, and the eye mask showed a shocking look. This doesn't look right. Why does it sound so outrageous? You're not playing tricks, are you? Isn't your human sovereign palace just promoted to a new 9th rank force? Qin Hai fell into self-doubt. There are too many unreasonable places here. Well, The 10-star weak true king of the dark camp would also like to thank the Inspector Gongsun for his help. I just played a little help. In the end, Lord Gongsun's inspection envoy gave generously, and simply gave me the credit. If you don't believe me, ask Lord Inspector Gongsun. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly. On the matter of flickering, he has never been afraid of anyone. It's time to fool, then you have to fool yourself. Gongsun Cheng's face darkened. He had already discovered that he and Fang Fan were fighting each other. Every time I meet him, there must be no good thing. Gongsun Cheng? When did you become so powerful? Why have you never heard of this? Qin Hai frowned and found that things were not simple. Lord, it was only by chance that he was killed. Palace Master Fang Fan has also helped a lot. Gongsun Cheng sighed helplessly, and now he can only bite the bullet and explain. Things have come to this point, and there is no value and meaning to say anything else. Ha ha. Little slicker. Qin Hai suddenly said with a smile. He didn't know if he was teasing Gongsun Cheng or alluding to Fang Fan. The 10-star weak true king is related to Gongsun Cheng, so this is the 9-star quasi true king. You killed it after all, right? Qin Hai narrowed his eyes and stared at Fang Fan excitedly. I really found a gem today. I didn't expect that a little guy in the 6-star king realm could create so many miracles. Miracles follow one after another, and it must be false to say that there is no feeling at all. Of course. Under the power of the Holy Heaven Alliance, all the devils can only be killed. Fang Fan said solemnly, and slapped a little flattery from the side. Qin Hai smiled but didn't say much. It's just that Yun Yun on the side has already opened her mouth slightly, and she can't take it back. From the very beginning, she discovered something was wrong with Fang Fan, and felt that he was mysterious, powerful. But she didn't expect it to be so powerful. A 10-star weak true king may still be called luck, but the heads of these 9-star king level dark camp demons are real. Yun Yun couldn't help but feel more and more curious about Fang Fan. This guy seems weak, but he is breaking through himself again and creating miracles. Yun Yun thought to herself. This guy is too good at disguising. It doesn't matter if he hangs up high, but he sees it clearly in his heart better than anyone else. It is a good thing for such a person to be a friend, but if he becomes an enemy, that would be too much of a headache. Good, very good. I didn't expect a monster in my Sun Galaxy. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 714. Qin Hai rubbed his palms and laughed, feeling more and more that Fang Fan was in his temper. Such a little monster was actually discovered by him. If such a monster appeared in the dark camp, he would naturally have a headache. But since it appeared in the bright camp, it is natural to accept it vigorously. A 10-star weak real king head, millions of contribution points. 9 9-star quasi true king heads, 900,000 contribution points. The other thing is, there are 39 8-star king realm dark camp devil heads, 390,000 contribution points. The heads of other levels are combined together, there are also more than 600,000 contribution points. The total contribution point is nearly 3 million. Well, let's count it as 3 million contribution points. Qin Hai calculated a little, then smiled lightly. There are countless treasures in the Holy Heavenly Alliance Temple. According to your current capital, you can already choose some treasures here. Whether it's a treasure secret book, or a tidal resource plane, everything. Qin Hai took Fang Fan to the depths of the temple. The further he went, the more treasures there were. Like what quasi-true king weapon? The essence of the weak real king, these are about hundreds of thousands of contribution points. There are also various high-level combat skills. In fact, this kind of combat skill is something that cultivators of all ethnic groups have discovered by themselves. They can learn from each other, and they can also communicate with each other. The further you go, the more rare and precious treasures you will find. Roar. Hoo 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 hoo. Let me out. Get out. Kill. Kill kill kill. There was a sudden sound of heavy objects hitting the cage in the distance, and Fang Fan frowned slightly. There are some war slaves. What? How many do you want to pick? This kind of war slave is difficult to tame, even if you add a slave ring to them, but if you don't have extremely strong mental power and strength, it is difficult to tame them directly. Qin Hai introduced Fang Fan to the side. In his opinion, Fang Fan should have a good understanding of this information. Entering the war slave field, war slaves of all levels have. Most of them are humanoid war slaves, but there are also some strange-looking war slaves. For example, those with wings, those with 4 legs, and those with the heads of humans and beasts. All in all, it's amazing. There are some delicate interracial beautiful girls, who are biting their lips and waving at the crowd. No matter how peculiar these war slaves are, they are all sadly locked in cages made of meteorite iron, with shackles on their hands and feet. Food is placed on their mouths, and it is difficult for their hands to directly touch when it comes to food. He can only hold his head out, open his mouth, and humbly seek life. Fang Fan was a little silent. Since ancient times, war slaves are the saddest. Most of these war slaves are warriors who were captured in the war. There are also their own planes that have been defeated, but have no choice but to be exchanged for spirit crystals by the new plane masters. No matter what kind of situation it came from, the sad scene is obvious. If the human race plane is occupied by alien races, I am afraid that the fate of the human race will not be any better than them. If a group wants to be free from abuse, it must continue to grow stronger. Being behind, you will be annihilated. Fang Fan's eyes couldn't help showing a look of melancholy. Kill kill kill. Kill 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 kill. Bang bang bang. Continuing to walk inside, there are a few war slaves in the cage that seem extremely crazy, and they are slamming the cage with their heads frantically, and they are bathed in blood, still ignorant. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 715. These. Why so frantic? Fang Fan subconsciously asked. From the eyes of these prisoners, he saw unyielding. Proudly unyielding. Palace Master Fang Fan, let's go and see the war slaves of other races. It's best not to choose. Qin Hai's expression suddenly became serious, and then, he sighed again. Fang Fan felt that there was something in his words, and he didn't seem willing to say it so directly. Is there anything else he could hide? Great Aragami. You are the greatest god. Your successor will come eventually. The wise new god of wilderness will lead us to unify all races. Desolate people. Desolate ancients. The great wilderness. The wind is coming. In the cage, an old and frail old man suddenly stared at Fang Fan with piercing eyes, and then said a series of messy words. The rest, Fang Fan didn't pay attention, only heard the word desolate god. Probably feeling Fang Fan's strange gaze, Qin Hai frowned slightly, and then began to explain. These are all desolate tribes, also known as the tribe abandoned by the gods. According to the instructions of the gods, Aragami has already been eliminated. Not only the gods of the light camp, but even the gods of the dark camp have communicated this way. In the beginning, the light camp and the dark camp also wanted to win them over to become their own believers. I found out later that it was all in vain. It seems that their bones have been marked with the mark of the wild god. Even if the wild god has been destroyed at this moment, it is still the same. The Desolate clan wants to become the third largest force independent of the light and dark camps. But apparently, in the end they failed. The Baron clan without the blessing of the Baron god, is really insignificant. Gradually, They took turns becoming second-rate races. Fortunately, their bones are hard enough. The combat power is strong enough, so they can barely be used as war slaves. At one time, they did indeed become warlike slaves that the heavens and myriad races scrambled to snatch. It's just that later, there were frequent incidents of barren war slaves attacking the master. This is a family of warriors, they don't want to be bound and oppressed, and to become war slaves, they must suppress such will. Qin Hai sighed lightly. From his tone, he actually praised the arrogance of the barren warriors. It's just that the entire ethnic group is gone, so there's no need to say too much. Little friend Fang Fan, don't do stupid things. If it weren't for the fact that the combat power was several grades higher than theirs, no one would be able to control the war slaves of the Baron clan. Seeing that Fang Fan was silent, Qin Hai immediately persuaded him. Fang Fan fell into a little composure. For some reason, he always felt that the desolate old man looked at him with a special meaning. Does he know me? What did he mean by what he just said? Heir of the Aragami? The new wild god will surely lead them to unify all races. The new Aragami, is he referring to him? But he, is just a false god of the wild. Fang Fan took a deep breath and forced himself to calm down a little, then he looked at these barren war slaves again. Lord Inspector, here, how many desolate people are there? Fang Fan looked at Qin Hai firmly. You, really want to buy the barren war slaves? Qin Hai wanted to persuade him again, but seeing Fang Fan's firm eyes, he chose to give up, and the idea of genius was naturally different. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 716. At present in this branch temple, there are a total of 1,000 adult male Baron war slaves, 300 adult female Baron war slaves, and the other is, 200 Baron young children. If you really want to buy it, you should buy those adult male Baron war slaves. The rest, are mostly burdens. Qin Hai reminded from the side. No. I'll buy them all. How many contribution points do I need in total? Fang Fan said firmly. Excessive interest-based, will only intensify contradictions. Why did the former Baron war slaves choose to kill their masters? Maybe because of their tyrannical character, but they must have suffered some inhuman abuse. The average 9-star quasi-true king level war slave is 3 million contribution points. However, because of the particularity of the Baron war slaves, generally only 30% of the price is required, which is 900,000 contribution points. There are 2 9-star quasi-true king level war slaves here, and they need 1.8 million contribution points. 11 adult male war slaves of the 8-star king realm desolate race, still 30% of the price, each 90,000 contribution points. A total of 990,000 contribution points are needed. There are 59 adult male war slaves of the 7-star king realm desolate clan, each with 9,000 contribution points, a total of 531,000 contribution points. There are 198 adult male war slaves of the 6-star king's realm desolate tribe, each with 900 contribution points, a total of 178,200 contribution points. The rest are all adult male war slaves of the 5-star king realm, a total of 732, each with 90 contribution points, a total of 65,000 contribution points. As for those female war slaves and child war slaves of the Baron tribe, 10 contribution points each, a total of 5,000 contribution points are enough. A total of about 3.5 million contribution points. Within my authority, I can only wipe out a fraction for you. 3.5 million contribution points. You have to think about it clearly, the contribution points of the Holy Sky Alliance are not so easy to get, and I don't know when the next Holy Sky Alliance will issue the Holy Sky Order. Qin Hai looked at Fang Fan with bright eyes, hoping that he could think more clearly. On me, only 3 million contribution points. Fang Fan was embarrassed for a while. He thought it was enough, but he didn't expect to buy some war slaves and emptied them. And this is still a barren war slave with a 30% discount. Young man, leave me here, I'm already old, I don't need to go out, let them go out, I'll be satisfied. Treat them well, they are all good kids. They will always guard your safety, you are the savior of my barren clan. The old man in the cage said suddenly, his words were clear, and there was a sense of extreme sadness in his words. High Priest, no. Absolutely not. Let me stay. You go out with them. In the cage, a middle-aged and sturdy Baron clan said firmly, he is one of the 2 9-star quasi-true King Realm Baron clans among these desolate clans. The other is the withered old man called the High Priest. Are you going to go against my will? Is it against the will of the wild god? Go. Let's go. Help this young man well. He is the future of my desolate clan. The withered old man said solemnly, his voice gradually became hoarse. Stop fighting. I'll take all of you. I won't leave a single one behind. Fang Fan gritted his teeth and said firmly. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 717. There is freedom in the world. Not to mention, Fang Fan really felt the love displayed by these desolate people. Fang Fan, I still have more than 500,000 contribution points here. You use it first. Yun Yun walked over directly and said candidly, she was obviously not lying if she could say this. Okay. Thank you. I will definitely give it back double in the future. Fang Fan is not hypocritical, he really needs this contribution point right now. With my 3 million, a total of 3.5 million contribution points. Inspector Qin Hai, is there any problem? Fang Fan said with a light smile. Since you insist on insisting, I don't have much to say. Just hope, you'd better pay attention. The war slaves of the Baron tribe are not that simple. Qin Hai hesitated for a moment, then said sincerely. Fang Fan nodded and said thanks. In any case, people are out of good intentions. Originally holding 3 million contribution points, he seemed extremely rich. In an instant, there was nothing left. But Fang Fan did not regret it at all. Instead of regretting it, I felt extremely excited. With the addition of these barren clans, the battle power of the Emperor's palace will instantly increase. Those female desolate clans and young children, their combat power is not counted, just these adult male desolate clans are already very powerful. A total of 1002 adult male barons. All of them are above the 5-star king realm. According to the division of arms on the battlefield of all ethnic groups, they are well-deserved ace soldiers. Fang Fan thought to himself in his heart, and there were streaks of light in his eyes. When the palace of the emperor was first built, the army was not perfect in all aspects, not to mention the combat effectiveness. At this time, if an ace army can be formed, it will be able to make up for this defect. After coming out of the Holy Heavenly Alliance Temple, Yun Yun left in a hurry, and Fang Fan returned to the camp with more than 1,000 barren clans alone. You seem to know me. Fang Fan looked at the withered old man of the desolate clan beside him. When he was in the Holy Heavenly Alliance Temple, there were many people talking, so Fang Fan didn't ask any more questions. Now that it has come out, naturally there are a lot of doubts and full explanations. The great wild god once left a prophecy. One day, his successor will return strongly. Lead our desolate clan to unify all clans and create a desolate ancient. You have the purest aura of the wild god. You are the successor of the wild god. You are the new Aragami. The withered old man suddenly put his hands on Fang Fan's arms, and after a while, a look of horror appeared in those turbid eyes. Great Aragami, please forgive your humblest believer's offense just now. The withered old man of the desolate clan suddenly knelt down, his expression was very excited, as if he had been fully confirmed, and this excited mood was hard to hide. Desolate God. Desolate Ancient. Desolate God. Desolate Ancient. Suddenly, more than 1,000 men and women of the Baron tribe all knelt down in front of Fang Fan, looking very respectful. Fang Fan opened his mouth and sighed slightly. He does know why these desolate people show this attitude and expression. Because he has a false Aragami godhead, divine fire, and priesthood. Although it is all false, the real god of desolation has become cold, and the breath on his body is naturally the closest to the real god of desolation. Therefore, these barren people will be convinced. If so, it would be a good thing. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 718. Sometimes, white lies can be motivating. Ding. 10th level Mad Believer at 1502. A system sound suddenly came from his ear, and Fang Fan's body suddenly trembled. Just now he thought he had read it wrong, but after confirming it several times, he really believed it. The 10th level Mad Believers suddenly increased by more than 1,500. This can only be said to be a miracle. How rare are Mad Believers, it goes without saying. So far, there are only 2 Mad Believers in the Desolate God Temple. They are Zhou Kaishan and Zhang Ao. The reason why these 2 were able to become the 10th level Mad Believers of the Wild God is entirely because Fang Fan explained to them that the Wild God is Fang Fan himself, and they came from the worship of Fang Fan, so they have this degree of faith. And what about these wild tribes? Fang Fan was only seeing it for the first time. Not even a word was said. All turned into Mad Believers. The belief of the barren people in barren gods has reached a whole new level. Very good. Very good. Fang Fan took a breath, the smile on the corner of his mouth could not be concealed. Adding more than 1,500 10th level Mad Believers at one time, how much the power of faith should this increase every day? A 10th level Mad Believer can provide a ray of faith power every day, that is, 100 strands of faith power. It is 100 times that of devout believers at levels 7 to 9. 1,000 times as much as a shallow believer of grades 4 to 6. 10,000 times as much as a 1st to 3rd level pan believer. 1 to 10,000. Just so strong. A Mad Believer provides 100 strands of faith power a day, more than 1,500, a day is 150,000 strands of faith power. 150,000, it's just 1 day's gain. 1 month, that's 4.5 million. His. Originally, the power of belief generated by my more than 100,000 followers in a month was only 200,000. It's less than a fraction of these 1,500 wild Mad Believers. The power of faith can be exchanged for the equivalent of Genesis points. 4.5 million silk power of faith can be exchanged for 4.5 million Genesis points. Posted. These numbers went through Fang Fan's mind once, and the smile on Fang Fan's mouth couldn't stop. Just don't be too cool. Great Aragami, what's wrong with you? The withered old man of the Baron clan looked at Fang Fan, who was smirking for no reason, a little stunned. It's okay, I'm just very happy to meet you here. In the future, don't reveal my identity in front of outsiders. I am seriously injured, and many divine powers cannot be exerted. I have to lurch slowly. I have never forgotten the wild people. Fang Fan said frankly, he admired the unyielding character and unswerving loyalty of these barren warriors. Their loyalty should be reciprocated. The Great Waste God. The humble believers will obey your will. The withered old man of the Baron tribe knelt down again. Fang Fan is also quite helpless, he always likes to kneel, he can't stand it. Now I have created a new force, the Emperor's Palace. From now on, you will follow them and call me the Hall Master, or, you can also call me the Lord. Fang Fan murmured softly, the choice is in the hands of these barren tribes. According to the Lord. These barren tribesmen, without exception, all chose the latter name. The women and children of the barren clan, I will send them to the palace of the Emperor to live and live, don't let them run around again. As for the warriors of the barren tribe, I need your help now. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 719. Fang Fan looked solemnly at these barren clansmen. Today's Emperor's Palace, everything is still too immature. The three main battle legions under his command, the proportion of ordinary soldiers in the king's realm is less than 1/10. Although there are certain advantages in high-end combat power, Yu does not hide his shortcomings. Desolate God. Desolate Ancient. Lord. The barren warriors are willing to fight to the death for you. Battle. Fight. Fight. For the people of the desolate clan, the last thing they are afraid of is fighting. Even their favorite is fighting. During the battle, they can feel this surging feeling from the heart. Desolate people who can't fight are destined to be cast aside. Lord, the old man is incompetent, but he is willing to fight to the death for the Lord. My name is Huang Rui, and I am the high priest of this wild clan. His name is Barren Mountain, and he is the patriarch of this barren clan. There used to be tens of millions of people in our family. Only now, that's all that's left. The barren man will only die on the battlefield. Huang Rui, the high priest of the barren clan, looked at Fang Fan excitedly. Fang Fan took a breath and nodded solemnly. Very good. From now on, you will be my personal guards. Just listen to me alone. Barren Mountain is the captain. The high priest of Huang Rui is in charge of everything. Fang Fan looked at the desolate clansmen in front of him and directly characterized the matter. Among these barren clansmen, the only two 9-star king-level quasi-true king-level powerhouses are the patriarch Huangshan and the high priest Huang Rui. Huang Rui takes orders. Barren Mountain takes orders. With the people who have joined the desolate people's palace, it will only appear stronger. When Fang Fan turned back to the camp, he happened to meet a group of people gathered here. Looking at their appearance, it seems that some comers are not good. Ha ha ha. It's true that there is a way to heaven and you don't go. There is no way to hell, you break in. You ignorant and lowly races actually dare to die on the battlefield of 10,000 races. Last time, the young patriarch was intentional. Let you escape. This time you will surely die. The leader of this team is a proud young man. Judging from the position of his arm, he seems to be a one-armed man. Suddenly stopped by a team, Fang Fan was still a little confused. You are. Fang Fan frowned, thinking about who the guy in front of him was. Ha. What are you wearing? Stop pretending. It's useless to pretend. Are you afraid now? Scared? Want to run away? It's late. It's all late. Offending the young patriarch, do you think you lowly races can survive? This young patriarch is just too busy recently, and has no time to worry about you. Are you scared to see this young patriarch? Even want to tremble? Trembling. Don't hold back. Show your fears. The one-armed young man in front of him screamed with excitement. Fang Fan was stunned. Is it stupid? If you have something to say, go away. Malicious blockers, behead. Fang Fan pouted, and he has encountered more and more fools recently. Yo. It's still swollen? Arrogant. I am Yuan Xiaotian, the young patriarch of the Xiahao clan. You dare to be arrogant in front of me. Young people began to report on their homes. When he heard the words Yuan Xiaotian and Xiahao clan, Fang Fan suddenly realized. There used to be such a group of people who came to the northern capital to make trouble. At that time, it did bring a certain amount of trouble to Fang Fan. At that time, the entire Xiahao clan army, except for the young man in front of him, was completely wiped out. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Xu Yu. Chapter 720. It didn't hurt before? Now it's dead again. The lesson of one arm doesn't seem to be enough, does it? Fang Fan's face showed a sneering look. The way this guy kills is really special. Bastard. You dare to be rude to me. You don't know my Xiahao clan. This young patriarch will teach you a lesson today. Let you dare to continue to be arrogant. Kill these hillbillies for me. By the way, leave the one-headed, I will torture and torture. Yuan Xiaotian let out a cold snort, a glint in his eyes. He has already decided to teach Fang Fan a lesson. This bastard. Destined to be punished by him. Dare to be arrogant in front of him, then you will die. The Xiahao clan army he led last time was just a motley army. In the army, he, the young clan leader, was the strongest and the six-star king. But this time is different. He brought the invincible general of the family by his side. An 8-star king realm powerhouse. Just one line away, you can be promoted to the 9-star king level quasi-true king realm. Yuan Xiaotian looked at his empty sleeves, and the killing intent in his eyes began to condense frantically. These days, he has never forgotten this blood feud. But it's all right now, big revenge, I'll have to avenge it soon. The excitement in my heart is indescribable. The attack is coming. An 8-star king level general of the Xiahao clan rushed over with a sword in hand. His posture was unusually arrogant. It seems that Fang Fan and others have never been taken seriously. This arrogance is destined to pay a price. A murderous intent flashed in Fang Fan's eyes. It should come, it will always come. What should end, it will end eventually. Fang Fan waved gently. Whoosh. The captain of the guards, Huang Shan, had already rushed out. Because they have just been redeemed, they are not equipped with weapons yet. Sure enough, they are a bunch of country bumpkins. They don't even have any decent weapons. The sarcasm on the face of the 8-star king level general who came running was obvious. Immediately, its attack quickly became violent. The barren mountain, raising a fist the size of a sandbag, directly rushed over, directly holding the long sword of the Xiahao clan warrior with his left hand, and then smashed him to death with a hammer under the terrified gaze of the Xiahao clan warrior. Hiss. The horrific scene made everyone take a deep breath. Baron Shan glanced at the little blood oozing from his left hand, smiled honestly, and didn't care at all. How is it possible? How did Yuan Zanhao die? He is an 8-star king level warrior. Trash. Get up. Keep feeding me. Yuan Xiaoshan's expression changed suddenly. No matter how stupid he was, he knew that the situation was not right. What should I do at this time? I naturally have some ideas in my heart. Lord, do you want to kill them all? Baron Shan shook his fist, bared his teeth and grinned. Yuan Xiaotian suddenly panicked. No. Don't kill me. I'm the young patriarch of the Xiahao clan. I was wrong, I didn't mean it just now, I beg you, let me live. Yuan Xiaotian was about to cry, his hands were shaking unnaturally from side to side. Xiaotian Wuer. Hurry up and stop. At this moment, a middle-aged man suddenly flew over in the distance, and there was an orderly army. Judging from the style of their clothing, it should also be the army of the Xiahao clan. Yuan Xiaotian, who was originally full of fear, immediately smiled when he saw the face of the visitor.